Good morning and hello to another edition of Improve Your Grade the 1% Way with myself, Dave Foster. We're looking this week at were the practice areas suitable? Very simple session really, which I think many people get very, very wrong. Don't really give enough planning into this. So I'm going to look at this for you today because I think it's vitally important. As I say, my name's Dave Foster, I'm a DTE-Elite, etc. If you don't know who I am, go to my website, DTE-Elite, and read about me, and you'll find out why I'm the guy here who can really help you. But did you plan the lesson? It comes under the lesson planning section. And I would say that 90% of this is completed really before the lesson begins. This is something you need to be really looking at in great detail, and I think a lot of people just think, oh, I'm going to do meeting traffic, I know there's a good area over there, yeah, I'll go there. But the lesson begins near or at the test centre, and this is where the only real difference comes between this lesson and what we would call your normal driving lessons. Your normal driving lessons with your pupil, if you're sensible, you'll have your place where you'll do your moving off and stopping. All your learners, you will take them to that place. You will have your place where you do your left turns, your right turns, your emerges, your first crossroads, your first roundabouts, etc. Doing it like this, of course, you can plan every single lesson. But this lesson begins at the test centre, which is completely different. So what problems can this bring? Well, let's carry on about under everyday lessons. As I was saying, each lesson normally you plan. You can plan for everything. Along with the DVSA syllabus, you can include everything. So by producing a lesson plan and knowing the area and looking at everything you want to include in that plan, taken from the DVSA Learn to Drive syllabus, you know that at the end of a series of driving lessons, your learner will have covered every single thing. If you're one of the instructors who just thinks, oh, today we'll go down that road or today we'll go down this road, and you're not planning your normal lessons, there's every possibility you might miss certain things off the syllabus and your pupil may not cover things. And then of course they come up as surprise elements. When I was an instructor, literally every single one of my moving off and stopping lessons were in exactly the same place. I know I used to pull up at the side of the road with my learner for the first one. I used to feel the front and then the rear wheel just dip down a little drain, and then I used to just stop in the exact same place every day, every lesson. I knew then that in the blind spot there was an entrance, which was nice in the blind spot. I knew what was coming up the road ahead. I knew what was going to be around the corner. I knew the area inside out. I've done it over and over again, and as I got a more experienced instructor, it worked. And then my junctions were in a similar area, and then I would move off to do more difficult junctions and everything there. I knew exactly where I was going every single lesson with my learner. True, I had the treat lessons, the ones where we looked up and said, look, let's just go in free drive. Let's just go for a drive somewhere and incorporate some of the stuff. And I had a few lessons like that. But generally, the lessons were in the same place. But your standards check, your part 3 check, this isn't going to be happening because you don't have the same options. The area might be a little more limited, or it might even be more challenging. And then you've also got the challenge of actually getting to where you are thinking of doing that lesson. So you've got this whole area from the moment you pick up that examiner to where you're going to do the lesson. The whole lot, in a sense, is different territory to you. You might not be aware of the area, and this is where the good planning comes in. Now, as a little secret, I used to say it just ad cuff, etc., and then people started quoting it back to me. They started passing tests. They used to come back to me and say, do you know what, David? I always remember this that you told me, and this is stuck with me forever. And it's this little secret here. It's basically, I used to say to them, the secret is planning, 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 and then to be spontaneous. And that is being sent back to me many times by people to say that that's what they did. So let me explain. So you've decided what lesson the pupil needs, not what you want to do, not what the pupil wants, not what the pupil needs, it's what the pupil needs, not what the guy on Facebook told you, or the guy in Twitter or something else told you, go and do this lesson. It has to be what the pupil needs. Now we've done this, covered this in previous articles, previous videos, but we need to make sure it is what the pupil needs. Anything else is not going to work. You now need to look at the area for a suitable location. For example, let's pick, meeting traffic, and you've looked and think that's a suitable area there. Yes, I know that one, that will be good. Now look again, look for another area and another area, and see if you can find 2 or 3 which may or may not be suitable. Don't just pick the first one. So identify areas. Then consider the level of your pupil and each area. Which one would suit the pupil better? Now go over that area using Google Earth, Google Maps, or just drive it many times, drive it. And as you do this drive, at every junction, at every roundabout, every meeting traffic situation, think, what could go wrong for my pupil? Now your pupil may be the best pupil ever at roundabouts. They might be the best pupil at traffic lights, but don't assume this is going to be the case on this test, because it very often goes wrong, which we've covered before, and you will have to change the plan. So you have to plan to change the plan. I've said this before. Have a plan for if it does go wrong. Where could you possibly go? Consider, where you could do a mini lesson if needed, or what went wrong. So you're planning if it goes wrong at every little thing. Let's take a couple of examples. Example, you're heading off to do a meeting traffic situation for the first time ever in that pupil's history. They suddenly decide to bring the clutch up too fast several times. You're sitting there scratching your head thinking, what on earth is going wrong here? They have never done this before. I've heard that many times. Well, you need to think on this lesson, if there is a clutch problem, where could I take them? You may need to take them to that little quiet road with a little slight incline and do a little bit of work on the clutch. And then, of course, when you've sorted the clutch, when that one's ticked off, pop them back into the area and carry back on with the lesson. One example there, maybe you're looking to do a manoeuvre, as I put here, and the junction gets messed up. They've never messed up a junction before. They've always been good with their mirrors. What's going on here? Well, as we said before, several things. Examiner in the back, extra weight in the car, who knows? It doesn't matter. The matter is you are here, you are now, you need to change the plan. So you've got to think, if they miss this junction up, where could I go? Could it be a left, a right, a left, a left? Could it bring us back on this and that? Could I teach them that? Could I break the lesson down into a mini lesson, change the plan and do that? Could you avoid some situations? Is there a nasty roundabout, etc., etc.? Consider what your pupil's already been taught. Maybe you're doing meeting traffic and you haven't yet done roundabouts, but there is a roundabout on the route which is unavoidable. So what do? Well, you just simply guide them. As you approach the roundabout, John, you've not done roundabouts. I know you've done basic junctions, but I'll guide you through the roundabout. Don't worry, I'm in charge. So just slow down. Look, there's traffic coming. Okay, just keep going. You're fine. Or stop. You guide them. You tell them, I'm going to guide you because you've not done these before. You're telling the examiner, my pupil's not ready for this. I'm taking control. You are sharing the responsibility. But in this case, you are taking it and sharing it minimally with the pupil. Okay, you've seen these things before. You need to plan for everything, every junction, every traffic light. What could you go? Where could you go if you needed to? Everything. Then again, what if your pupil does well? Where could you increase the demands of the learner? You're doing a meeting traffic situation. You know what? This pupil nailed this. This is going well. Heck, we've got 15 minutes left of this lesson. What can I do? Could I take them to one of the other areas where it's more demanding? Could I just simply reverse the route? very often reversing the route makes the task demands higher. So now, to give that learner something else to do, to show the examiner, look, you know, I'm changing the plan. In this case, we're moving it up. Nobody can do this for you. This is down to you. Others might suggest areas that will suit, but will it suit that pupil on that day? And only you will know. Most tests go wrong because the pupil just has not planned it out right. Planning the route, planning the potential problems, planning the changes and how you would deal with those problems, and then being spontaneous. Chances are, if you've planned enough, then if something unexpected arrives, one of your plans will be okay. Now, I'm hoping this is going to help. As I said, it is down to you. You really do need to plan those areas. This is something that everybody can do. You can sit at your route before your test and look at it and really look at it. Don't skimp on it. Don't think, oh, I know the area, etc. Plan it and think it through. You will be really, really glad on the day. Okay, next week, we're going to look at, was the pupil aware of the surrounding the pupil's actions? This week, until next week, what I want you to do is to practice your planning your route. I want you to think about every pupil you have this week and either look at Google Earth or plan and actually start to think, where will I go? What will I do if my pupil goes wrong? And start planning routes and areas. Start thinking your own areas. Are they the best areas? Is there a better area you could be? And ideally, you're looking for the best area you can for that lesson. And then when you've found one that covers everything, that covers all the things that you can do if they go wrong, etc., then that's probably the one you'll stick with your normal lessons. This is going to give you good preparation ready for your part 3 or your next standards check. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. If you want to go now, go, because the next slide I'm just going to talk about my planner. A shameless plug for my planner. We've had a bumper week this week for lesson planners and 31 lesson plans, etc., etc. Lots of really good reviews, and I just thought, you know, this is helping so many people. Could help you. If you want to leave now, please leave. Otherwise, just 2 minutes, I'm just going to talk about something on the next slide. But I look forward to seeing you all next week. And here it is. Ignore the title at the top. I've just copied the screen across. If you're looking for planning lessons, if you don't feel that you're very competent at doing, then the book 31 Complete Lesson Planners is for you. This contains 31 of the most lesson plans you'll ever use. They give you the basic plans, etc., etc. It gives you a little bit of advice on the sort of area you'll be looking normally. If you are interested in this, and head over to the DTE website. I will put the link down below, and do consider looking at them. It's a book which I wrote to help my own trainees, a book which people were asking me to produce, which I did, and I can't believe how many of them. I never realized how many people would be benefiting from this book and the brilliant reviews, and that's what it is. Don't take my word for it. Read the reviews, etc., etc., and this can help you. Thank you so much for listening. Bye for now. I'll see you all soon. Oh, P.S. don't forget, on a Wednesday evening I do a regular free coaching call for PDI's trainees. You're welcome to come along. Have a look in Facebook, on my DTE site, and somewhere there'll be something asking you if you want to come along. Pop your name on an email to the girl in the office, to Jess, and Jess will send you a link, etc. And you can come along, listen or ask questions, etc., etc. This is it. Bye. Thanks for now. See you all soon. Bye bye.